Hey guys and gals, my name is Kuars and welcome back to another video. Now, if you know me personally, you might be aware of the fact that I pretty much condone piracy. I think you should do it. I think it's awesome. And look, I know, okay? Isn't piracy evil? Isn't it stealing? I will answer all of those questions. Alright, do not worry. There's a lot of different misconceptions about piracy, one of them being like, oh, it's gonna give you viruses, which I mean, if you search up Minecraft free download and then click the first link, obviously you're gonna get viruses, but if you play it smart and download SK Launcher instead of T Launcher because T Launcher is suspected spyware, then you'll be fine. Anyway, before I tell you how piracy is actually a good thing, let me tell you this. I am a consumer, okay? I buy stuff and I buy a lot of stuff. Here's my shelves of fucking comic books and manga just to show you how big of a consumer I am. You know I can read any of this online, right? And yet I chose to get it physically because guess what? I like the feeling of having something in my hands. I love the feeling of owning stuff, but unfortunately, in this day and age, you don't really own anything you buy, especially when it comes to games. Any live service game that you spend your hard-earned money on and played for I don't know how many hours can just be shut down one day because the studio just felt like it. Not only that, but also if you're not buying a game specifically from a platform where they support DRM-free games, then you're not actually buying a game. You're buying a license to play said game. And guess what, dude? Those licenses can be revoked at any time of day. Like, you can just not own a game anymore because the studios were like, nah, fuck you. So in this day and age where companies don't care about the consumer, why should the consumer care about the company? And that's where piracy comes in, baby. Did you know you can get anything for free? Not only that, but also some games can actually perform better than their official counterparts because they don't have anti-piracy measures that limit FPS. Isn't that awesome? Not just that, but also, do you not have a certain console to play a niche little game? Well, don't you worry, little consumer, because guess what? Emulation is at the best point it's been over these last years. And no matter how much Nintendo wants you to think so, emulation is not illegal. Especially because Nintendo themselves also do it. Not only that, but also fan-made emulators have way more features than official ones. And also, you can just play any game on that platform. You know, the NES emulator for the Nintendo Online Services is really cool and all, but how the fuck do I play Cheetah Man 2? Now, you might now ask me, hey, Kuars, you know, all of this sounds really awesome and all, but isn't piracy bad, illegal, a bitch? Alright, little buddy, if you think piracy is stealing, then let me ask you this question. When you borrow a game from one of your friends or buy it secondhand off of some random ass fucking store, does that also count as stealing? Because technically you're not giving money to the original creators, so, you know, that must be stealing. Obviously it's not, so piracy's not too, fuck you.
Well, but piracy hurts million-dollar companies that don't give a shit about us.
No, it don't. It doesn't actually. I wish it did. I wish I could hurt Nintendo right now. That'd be awesome. I wish I could kick Sony in the nuts, but here we are, you know. What are we gonna do about it? And not only that, but also piracy is very important for preserving video games, because guess what? Big companies don't care about Cheetah Man 2 and Action 52. They're not gonna preserve that shit. Come on. That's why ROM websites and something like Internet Archive is so important. Because let's be honest, it's really easy to lose history here. But with our efforts, we can actually preserve these. And this wouldn't be possible if not for piracy. I'm just saying it's like a really important thing that everyone should do. Anyway, let's get it. Next point. Okay, let's say, buddy old pal, that at this point, I convinced you, right? You're one of us. You're a pirate. You got your pirate hat on and a eye patch and a wooden leg. You got everything, all right? So you might ask me, hey, Kuars, how do I start on pirating stuff? Well, I'm glad you fucking asked. All right, pal. First step, you got to open Reddit. I know, painful thing to do, but you got to do it. You got to do it. Next up, go to r/piracy. I know, kind of on the nose, but it works, I swear. After that, if you look at the listed links, you can find one that says Mega Thread, and from here, you can pretty much find anything that you want. On the off chance that you can't, then go on Internet Archive, which is archive.org, and then try to find that thing. Now, before you click on any links, though, let me give you a little bit of a safety guide, alright? When they said that you can get viruses from piracy, they weren't kidding, buddy, alright? You can get viruses. if you're not careful. But I'm going to teach you how to be careful really quick. First of all, go to the Google Web Store and search up uBlock Origins, download that, and then search up Privacy Badger and download that. With those two extensions, you're pretty much good, but if you want some extra security, you can also get Proton VPN. Now, why specifically Proton? Because it's really the only VPN service that has a free option that also doesn't sell your data. So yeah, go with that one. And then after that, go and download QBitTorrent. Yes, that's right, QBitTorrent. Not just BitTorrent, QBitTorrent's better, alright? Just listen to me. Listen to Daddy Kuars and do everything he says. After that, go on the internet and also search up for free download manager. This is going to be for anything that isn't a torrent, aka direct downloads, which we'll talk about in a second. After that, you're pretty much good to explore this mega thread. Alright, let me give you some pats on the head because you did great. Alright, you downloaded all those things that I told you about, I'm hoping, and you can now go search the internet for piracy shit. Alright, good job.
Hey dude, this is editing Kuars, and it's like 5 a.m., but I'm here to tell you something really important. Be sure to run your files to virustotal.com, just to be sure. On top of that, don't forget to exercise some common sense. If it looks too good to be true, it sometimes is. Also, while you're exploring the mega thread, I would also recommend that you look for websites and or platforms that have the goat symbol on them. That means they're really trustworthy and they're really good. Anyhow, that's pretty much all you need. That's right, you're a pirate now. Good job, you can get shit for free. Now if you're also gonna ask,
Hey Kuars, how do I get free games on my Xbox?
get a PC, buddy. I mean, like, you can mod your shit for sure, but you also need a PC to do that, so just get a PC. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about piracy and why you should do it and why it's the best and why, like, it's good. It's I make videos and I make them good, dude. Anyway, buddy, if you liked the video, comment, like, and subscribe, I guess. If you want to see my dumbass live, be sure to put the notification bell on because I sometimes stream on YouTube and it's awesome. Also, if for some reason you're looking for something to read samuraiplus.uk.to. You can read my own webcomic. That's right, the best webcomic in the entirety of webcomics ever. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Walking lonely, got no homies, feeling like a ghost. She don't feel me anymore, she says I'm never home. I got no lights on, I'm slumped in my chair again. She never come home, she never will feel me again. I cannot differentiate a day since 2016.